All right. Welcome to Matty C Sports for you and me. Got a special guest today. My good friend I just met, my friend Christopher Bazile.
Yes,
Um,
Bazile, yes.
so we had a big weekend in sports. We had a lot of good college football games go on. We had a super good boxing match this weekend between Lopez and Lomachenko. But yeah, that was a good thing this weekend. Then Sunday we just capped it off with a little football. So yeah, this is gonna be a good one here. So let's start off with college football now. We'll just talk about it briefly, um, top 25 and stuff like that. So um, my big thing that I got really mad about was Clemson and Georgia Tech. Now Clemson was a number one as always, beating the shit out of Georgia Tech 73-7. Now, their coach,
Yeah, it's
Dabo
crazy.
Sweeney, I think he's a piece of shit for doing that. You don't run a score up like 73-7 on a team. Their quarterback got 400 and I believe it was 409 yards, and he
Trevor Lawrence.
tore it up. Yes.
Yeah.
So they kept him until at least before the second half. So, what's your take on that big thing there, that blowout?
Yeah, what I thought about that blow, I actually thought Clemson did their job as the number one team in the nation. Yeah, you might have. Yeah, you're probably right. They probably did run up the score a little bit, but they were playing to their standards as the best team in college football. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence looks like he could probably go pro after the season. Who knows? It needs a little bit more development. Looks like the best player in college football, likely to win the Heisman. Yeah, and Clemson, they're just the
Absolutely.
all around team. I love the weapons they have. They have a great defense. They have a lot of great receivers, a great backfield. It's the best team in college football, and they proved it in that game, even though it was a huge and they showed it in a huge blowout.
Oh, absolutely. Um, I think it was an absolute disgrace on blowing up the score. But you're right. You are right about going up to a certain standard, being the number one team in the nation. Now, on the other hand, you saw another great game with Alabama taking on Georgia, and Alabama taking Georgia out 41-24, which is an okay score. They beat them in they did beat them in Alabama. Now that's also a weapon team. You got a stacked defense in Alabama. You have Mac Jones. He's an okay quarterback, but a lot of people don't know that Alabama doesn't need a quarterback. All you need is the rest of the offense, and then
Yeah.
they'll take care of you. Um, yeah, I believe that game was a good one too. It really showed that they can defend where they're at in the NCAA standings. I do see Clemson and Alabama in the playoff. That's a little early to say, but I don't really see a top tier team after 1, 2, 3. I think Notre Dame is also a disgrace with their schedule. I think their schedule is weak, and they just climbed to number 4 because of the name. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with you. After Clemson and Alabama, I don't really see much in college football. I think Miami's number 10. Yeah, Notre Dame is number 4, as you said. I don't think there's much more powerhouse teams right after that. USC is not even being talked about this year. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a
Um,
little. Tennessee lost yesterday, and they were ranked on Saturday, and they were ranked. Yeah, Georgia, as you said, lost to Alabama. They were the number team in the land. They were the number team in the land. Now they're falling. It's not much. There's really not much parity in college football other than Alabama and Clemson. Honestly, no, excuse me. Yeah, Alabama and Clemson.
right, and like you said with Tennessee, it's funny that you said Tennessee because I did speak with the assistant coach of Tennessee, T. Martin, and that was a while ago in the summer. um, he explained to me what was happening in the summer that behind closed doors nobody knows. You have true freshmen coming into the season that they can't personally go and help you. It goes by tablets. It goes by like a Zoom meeting like me and you have. I mean, how are you going to teach an offense or coach a defense with true freshmen when they don't know how to really do things their way. So a lot of people don't know that these teams that are, getting upset, like you don't see Kentucky beating Tennessee 34-7. It just
Yeah.
doesn't happen. And the funny thing with that coach said, I'm going to have a glass of bourbon and I'm going to have a nice meal after this one. Can I say any more? I mean, that's his big goal of that year, beating Tennessee 34-7. Tennessee is going for a national championship, and you just took that away. So yeah, I just surprised with a lot of teams this year what they're doing. A lot of powerhouses in college football. And I also think, just my last thing on college football is that the schedules are very weird this year. The Pac-12. They're not starting till November, and
Mm,
Ohio State and them not starting till I think this week. This week they're starting up.
mm.
And they already have a tough schedule ahead of them already. I don't like Michigan myself, but they're playing Minnesota. Now, if Minnesota were to play them in Michigan, Michigan would beat them up. They would beat the shit out of them. But being in Minnesota, who knows? This might be a change. Now, going on to this end of the season, I mean, with all the craziness and all the schedules, all the standings, where do you go? Where do you stack the numbers? I mean, what's your thought on that?
The college football committee, they're gonna have a lot of work to do with some of these teams starting late. Yeah, like you said, Ohio State and USC, the Pac-12 teams and Big Ten teams. It's gonna be a lot of confusion. They have to try to figure it out. Yeah, they have to base it off team record, strength of schedule, winning percentage, team statistics. It's gonna and number of games played. It's gonna be kind of confusing. Let's see how they power it down, and also team conferences, team leagues, which league was more powerful, which league was more impactful to college football. It's gonna be kind of confusion once playoffs start.
Right, right. Um, yeah, it should be an interesting college football season. We'll see what happens from here. The powerhouses, I think, are going to stay. With Georgia losing this week to Alabama, I don't think it affects them too bad. A one-loss season is okay. Just don't lose anymore. That's all I can really say to Georgia. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, Bama wins the national championship because I'm a big fan. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm a Clemson fan. I like Trevor Lawrence. I'm a Clemson fan.
All right, so we'll have
I
another.
think we'll be in the championship round again.
All right, so we'll have another interview then for sure to talk about that battle. So going on now, the big one for me was Saturday night. Not UFC, big boxing match this Saturday was Vasily Lomachenko taking on Teofimo Lopez for the main event. Now, before I go to that, the first card that was on there, that guy Edgar Berlanga, guy comes in. I'm like, dude, this guy is just like, I don't even know what to think of him. He's very flamboyant, and I'm like, dude, whatever. This dude's gonna get knocked in the first round, and the other guy's got his TMT, so obviously he's sponsored by Mayweather, so he's got some skill himself. So this guy Berlanga comes into the ring, he absolutely beats the crap out of this guy, and I understand how now he's 15-0, and he every single fight has almost been a knockout or in 15 rounds. I mean 15 wins in a row from the first round. Unbelievable. And I mean, he then they said his trainers can't even like train him, like to say, oh well, you got to do this better in the round. He knocks him out in the first round. How are you supposed to like? You're not even going to your corner, you know. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Hmm.
what
Yeah.
did you watch that fight yourself?
I actually watched the Lomachenko fight.
Okay.
Yeah, the fight you were talking about. What fight were you talking about again?
That was the first fight before Lomachenko. So there was three total I'd call them prelims, but first one was that one. Second one was another one. I wasn't watching that, and then Lomachenko. But the first one was pretty impressive. I was impressed with the guy knocking him out in a minute 15. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I actually thought there was a lot of good boxing. Yeah, the prelims before that, that big Lomachenko Lopez fight. As you said, that one was a knockout. Yeah, there was a lot of good boxing. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed what I saw that day.
so now the big one was Tefimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko. Um, I'll get your thoughts before I throw mine. What'd you think of that one?
Yeah, what I thought about the fight was Teofimo Lopez. I think he kind of reached his pinnacle, reached the dream. He got the belt, the best lightweight boxer in the world. He actually beat the best lot boxer in the world, Lomachenko, Vasily Lomachenko. That's what they were dubbing him. Yeah, I thought Lomachenko kind of played the Floyd Mayweather role. Defense, take all the hits, wait for a great punch concentration, and then and then he started to pick it up towards the end of the fight, the later rounds. But Teofimo Lopez was aggressive early on, was more active early on, and was probably the more offensive boxer, and that's actually how I believe he won the fight. And Teofimo Lopez made his native and his peoples proud and happy. So it was good to see. It was a great night in boxing that night.
And I think you're on point. Very good points right there. I totally agree with you. Like you said, Lomachenko, what he has athleticism without a doubt. He's just a very athletic boxer. I've always respected him. I watched one of his big fights one night, and I was just like, dude, this guy's gonna be a destroyer. And he was, and I totally respected what he did. But Tefimo Lopez was just hungry, a hungry dude that
Yeah,
night.
exactly.
He
That's
was
exactly.
so hungry, and I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3 rounds, okay, like he's just feeling him out, and then round four, I was like, dude, you got to step up now, just step it up. And Lomachenko just did not do anything till the sixth round. You can't go halfway into a fight and expect to against a hungry man like Tefimo Lopez to just sit around and say, "Hey, now I'm ready to see him turn it on." He did turn it on in I think 6 through 11. I'm gonna say 6 through 11 because Tefimo just started uh, pounding the shit out of him in the 12th round. That was the final round. You don't sit around like a jerk and just do that. Like Tefimo was just like, I'm gonna get you. I'm winning this fight. Like you're not gonna stop me. If you had a old school 15 round fight, Lopez would have knocked him out the next round after that. I truly believe that. But
Yeah, exactly.
Lomachenko
Yeah, I agree. So
Lomachenko did show up in probably a little bit into the sixth round until 11, and by then it was too late. And congratulations to Lopez. I mean, I was impressed. I'm glad to see an American win. It's 4 belts in one night. That's a pretty sweet deal right there. Um, yeah, so we'll see where he goes from here. I think he's a skilled boxer. I think he's got endurance. He's got very good endurance. He can take a punch. Definitely showed that. He definitely take a good cut to the eye too.
yeah, that was a big cut. Yeah, above his like left or right eye. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing I do not like about Lopez is that his dad is another Floyd Mayweather Sr. Just talks for his son. Let your son do the talking. Let your son fight. Don't say, "Well, we need this fight. He's the best. My son's the best in the world." No, just leave it alone. Just let him do what he does. And he did it and dedicated the fight with his dad and. Good job for Lopez, and we'll see what happens. See if Lomachenko can come back or he just stays in the Ukraine. I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back.
Mhm. He deserves to come back. He's still a great fighter. Still the best, one of the best in the world.
Exactly. So that's a big thing for me is him coming back. I'd love to see it. So we'll go to now week 6 this week of games for the NFL. Well, the Buccaneers losing again. Always good to see. Although I love Tom Brady, it's good to see you lose because you ditched us. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I don't see anything coming out of the Buccaneers. It's too much hype on Brady, too much hype on Gronk, too much hype. You don't have the defense. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? You don't think they have a defense?
I don't think they. I think their defense
I
is
thought I
okay.
thought they kind of I thought they really got to Rodgers yesterday.
They did, but I just thought they
I
would
thought they really
do
got
a
to
better
Rodgers.
job. I really did. I thought they were going to do better, and Rogers did play. I didn't think Rogers played up to his full potential, and I think he's going
Yeah.
down in his career. I really do. I think he's not doing impressive um, with his status right now. The Green Bay Packers are not what they were. All he has is Devonte Adams. I really that's my opinion on that. I'm very
Yeah.
disappointed at how Green Bay is. It's not the Green Bay I'm used to. Um, yeah, but other than that, we'll see what happens with them. Ravens snuck by with the win with the Eagles. Um, it's all in due part to honestly Lamar. I think Lamar is a savior to that team. They have a stacked defense. Their offense is pretty good too. It's just I don't think they still have fully recovered from the Kansas City game.
Yeah.
I still don't
Because
believe they have.
I thought that game they should have really I thought that game they should have really put the pedestal against Philadelphia, a little more inferior opponent. But they got the win and they got the job done and they still showed right they still showed that they're still tops in the AFC, but and they're still recovering from that Kansas City last year.
Yeah, I there's just too many things to even blame for that. I mean, I think it's a little early, but I think the Ravens, if they do take on the Chiefs, they got to be mentally ready because you can't go on like they are right now. Um, the
Yeah.
Texans and Titans got lucky, still undefeated. Um, Again, another tight game with their savior Derrick Henry, just a beast of a running back, absolute beast. Um, I don't know. So we got the Steelers and Browns. That was a big one. They blew out the Browns. So I mean, not a big challenge for them. Let's see what else we got. We got Colts beating the Bengals. The Bengals are just glutton for punishment
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
They're just
They're
not
playing for pride.
not a lot of pride there. Um, the Lions beating the Jaguars. Lions are, I mean, they got Matt Patricia as head coach, but it's definitely not who he was. And hey, the Giants got 2 wins against Washington this week.
Yeah.
The biggest one we probably have to talk about is Patriots Broncos. Um, that was a very disappointing game. I thought that the Patriots looked awful once again. Um, Cam came back. He did all right. But you can't enforce a team to rely on James White, on um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, Cam Newton, Henry. I meant Harry. Harry. I'm sorry, and Edelman. You know your defense is playing amazing. Patriots defense is great, but your offense is not consistent and it's not helping. And to you almost came back and beat the Broncos yesterday, but almost came back to beat the Broncos is not a good statement for a New England Patriots team. You don't really see it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a good statement. Yeah, the Broncos, they were more of a beatable team, and I believe we're third in the division right now behind Miami and Buffalo. So we got some work to do. Yeah, about that game, our defense did a good job. We held Denver to 6 field goals. They had only 18 points. We held them to 6 field goals. And you said our offense has some holes. We have to work on an offense. It was a lack of practice before that game. Yeah, Cam Newton was 17 of 25 for only 157 yards with 2 picks. It's not obviously not great numbers. Yeah, and yeah, we can't rely on the type of offensive weapons we have. They're not quite breakout stars. Julian Edelman was a no-show in that game. Yeah, we really need to figure it out before we don't have to really panic, but we have to really figure it out and get it going quickly. And we got San Francisco coming to Gillette next Sunday. So we just have to really gel it up. And Jimmy Garoppolo, a former Patriot, we have to come after him.
And they had a decent game last night against the Rams last night, beating them big Monday Night Football game in San Fran. Like you said, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kittle is just another weapon that you don't want to mess with either. They got a few talented rookies. They can surprise you and get a 30, 40-yard gain. You know, nobody really hears the underlying stuff with them. So, yeah, we got to watch out for San Francisco too, for sure. Yeah, so as I said, we'll go back to Brady real quick. 38-10 against the Packers. You got Brady still trying to hang on. You got Aaron Rodgers slowly crumbling, trying to, in the beginning of the season, preseason, I saw these things of different articles of where they were saying that he was just an asshole to his backups. Like, you can't do that. And I don't care who you are, like, you're an Allstate commercial guy, bro. Like, you're nothing to me. Like Aaron Rodgers, he's just not a good person. I've never really liked Green Bay anyway, but this year, I mean, I think they're done, but the Buccaneers are going to hold on. They'll probably get a playoff spot, but I don't see them going far.
Yeah, the NFC is stacked. The NFC is tough. Tampa Bay isn't it? I still like Tampa. I still like Tampa Bay and Green Bay. Honestly, I really think those teams they're still going to show out. I believe it's still a little too early in the year, but they'll still show out. Yeah, the LA Rams. I know they lost, but they're still dynamite. Seattle's good. And
Seattle definitely.
Seattle's 5-0. There's still some powerhouses in the top portion in the league. There's gonna be some wild playoff finishes this coming winter. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we got 2 games tonight. We have the Chiefs and Bills. We have Cardinals and Cowboys. Now, I'll just go with the late night game first because I think I'd rather talk about the big matchup. Cardinals and Cowboys. Obviously, don't have Dak Prescott because he lost his foot last week. And then you got Arizona, you got Hopkins, you got, what's his name? Kyler Murray, right?
Yes,
is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. So Arizona's been impressing me because we haven't seen a good Arizona team in a long time with Larry Fitzgerald in the old school days when they beat the Steelers. Or was it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, that was the last time in the Super Bowl. Yeah, 43. Yeah, Super Bowl 42.
Super Bowl 43. That's right. So yeah, and the Cowboys, they got Ezekiel Elliott, and again, Prescott's a big loss, and you got what's his name, Dalton. That's a big problem. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback, but I don't see them really doing much against Arizona tonight. But we'll see. What's your thoughts on tonight for that?
Yeah, my thoughts on the Cowboys Cardinals game. The Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, his first start as a Cowboy. He really has to win for them to stay alive in the playoff hunt. Yeah, and the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, Arizona Cardinals. They're a scary team. Kyler Murray he's having a great year this year. DeAndre Hopkins. up and coming this week was leading the league in receiving. It's Kyler Murray's favorite toy. Yeah, and those two have just been playing great together. Yeah, it
Absolutely.
should be sort of a watchable game. Andy Dalton versus Kyler Murray in a Jones Mahal. It should be a watchable game.
Definitely. And the big one today, um, Chiefs and Bills. So I think the Bills are pretty pissed because Derrick Henry gave them a nice stiff arm last week. Um, and the Chiefs coming off a loss to the LA Raiders, which shocked the hell out of me because, when I was doing fantasy football, Derek Carr screwed me over every year, and last week he screwed the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm like, what a change of events. I think the Raiders have a little bit more confidence this year, and that was a big win for them. But anyways, I think the Chiefs are hungry, just like the week before, but to lose to the LA Raiders is really probably pissed Mahomes off and the rest of the team because you don't want to lose to a team that, you came in and you're like, we'll just take care of them real quick. But you got the same thing with the Bills who just lost to Tennessee. I think it's going to be a great matchup tonight.
Yeah, it should
Um,
be a great matchup. Yeah.
I believe, yeah, they are playing in Buffalo. So I don't really think, as much as they say, like, with nobody in the stands, home field doesn't really matter. I think it still honestly still does because you're playing in their house and they got more of a boost because it's their house. So I don't know. I honestly I don't see the upset. I mean, I still see the Chiefs beating the Bills, but I think it's going to be a good battle tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good battle. I see the Chiefs beating the Bills as well. I think Patrick Mahomes really has to play to the best and full amount of his abilities, try to win this one. Buffalo's defense, they were exposed last week, as you said, against Derrick Henry and the Titans. They were really exposed. I wasn't kind of expecting them to get blown out in that game. And yeah, and Patrick Mahomes. Let's see what he could do in this game in Buffalo in that environment. He always shows out in other fields, but he's got a different matchup against Buffalo. I believe this is his first time playing Buffalo in his career. I think so. So let's see what he could do. A Buffalo at their best, actually, which is right now, and they're leading the division.
Right, right. And that's right. It's sad because it used to be the reverse order ago. Patriots, Miami, Buffalo. Like it's totally opposite now, which is
Yeah.
fine. It's a whole new gap of football, but we'll see what happens with that. So we'll go on to the final subject is the 2020 World Series this year. Now, before the World Series, I couldn't believe that Major League Baseball even got here. I thought it was a shame that they um, continued because they had so many COVID cases going on. But I can't, complain about it now because football's getting pretty little bit in there. They're getting a little bit of COVID going. But so we made it here and we got the Dodgers and the Rays. Now, I really hope the Dodgers win. I think Clayton Kershaw is a good pitcher. I think Mookie Betts and that stacked batting they have is great offense. And the Rays, I've never liked the Rays, so maybe I'm just biased on that. But also a good team, and it would probably be good for the city of Tampa Bay because in the National Hockey League they won the Stanley Cup too. So bring two trophies back home, that'd be pretty good. But what do you see in the series this time?
Yeah, what I see in the series, I think, wow, I actually didn't quite believe in the NLCS that Atlanta pushed LA to six or 7 games, 7 games.
I couldn't believe that either, but the
Yeah,
runs they were
yeah,
putting out were ridiculous. Winning 10 to
yeah,
2, like all these
yeah.
crazy
They won.
numbers.
Yeah, they won a game 15-3 before that clinching one yesterday. Yeah, the Dodgers they have this series is for the Dodgers to lose. They haven't won a World Series since 1988. They really have to defeat Tampa Bay, the lower established team. They really have to win with Mookie Betts, the All Stars, Clayton Kershaw. You said Seager and Cody Bellinger. They really have to win, and the pressure's on the Dodgers for this World Series.
Oh
People
yeah,
want to see them win.
definitely. Tampa Bay really, I'm not impressed. I really think, although I am impressed with the fact that they did beat the Yankees. I really am surprised they beat the Yankees with the talent that the Yankees have. But they just turned into the better team. And I think if it was a 7 game series, I don't think that this would be the scenario, but it's not. And Tampa Bay is where they are. And with much due respect, they made it here. But like you said, I agree. I think that Los Angeles has a lot to prove. They need to step it up and win it because they've been letting down that city for way too long.
Yeah. Yeah, they were quite slacking in the playoffs a bit. There were some series they should have won in sweeps, but it went to multiple games. So this is the real deal, the World Series. Let's see what they could do against Tampa Bay.
Absolutely. So, my last question to you. So, um, I know you're interested in doing all types of sports stuff, and you do have a good knowledge of sports, I have to say. So, what is your plans for the future with doing things with sports and all that?
Yeah, my plans for the future to do things with sports. Yeah, I'm currently a Bridgewater State student right now in college. I'm enrolled in college right now. My final year at BSU.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
good for you.
I'm happy to go. I'm happy to go anywhere in the field of sports. Mostly radio. I like radio. I like writing, journalism, sports journalism. Commentating isn't bad. Yeah, those three fields will probably fit me the best.
Well, good for you, man. I hope you do everything and it goes well. Yeah, you should just do football games right down the street. I mean, I'm actually right near the college anyway myself. So, yeah, I hope that goes well for you. And of course, you can come on the back on the show anytime. You talk about sports that I appreciate, and we had a good session today about big things that happened this weekend. It was a big weekend in sports. So, yeah, good luck in all you do with your schooling, and hopefully we'll see you on ESPN or something to that matter.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's the goal. Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
no.
having me on.
Oh, anytime. So, yeah, so we'll see you on another show. And again, thanks for coming on, and
Thank you.
we'll talk to you soon.
See you, man. Thank
All
you.
right, see ya. Right there, we had Chris Bazile, very knowledgeable sports guy. A lot of fun having questions about this week. It was a great college football weekend, and it was a great football weekend in general, and big boxing match this Saturday that went into a new champ in town. So, yeah, I'd like to end the show with thanking all my sponsors. And actually, we'll give the shout outs. Shout out to Greyhound Tavern right down the street. Good food, support local business, support local food. 3A Gear, check them out, 3agear.com. And they got all sorts of apparel for mainly hockey. And they support number 13, Charlie Coyle, the Boston Bruins. Um, let's see who else I can thank. Thank Bugsy Streets and the BMG crew for having their intros on my show, intros and outros. I mean, my boy Keith Hayes in the booth and Oscar Mike Radio, and that's it. So, Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Later.